What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Let It Be Known. I'm Darren Randall. We back with Lamar. Franchise news just broke out today. Lamar, I know you've been hearing about it all day.
Yes, sir.
Shit, how,
A lot of franchise news. Huh?
surprised a little bit, shocked, not shocked.
No, I'm not really shocked. Not even just to say it like that. I'm just not shocked just because I know this is a business. I know how these teams think. You kind of mentioned it. I'm not sure if you mentioned it on the pod or off the pod, but you kind of made a reference to saying like, it is kind of bullshit that these teams are still able to franchise tag these guys, especially at running backs.
Right.
Pay these dudes, man. Like these dudes are putting their bodies on the line. You gotta pay these people, man. Like you guys are billionaires. I know y'all got enough money to do it. I understand, like you said, it is a business though. You gotta like, build your team. You gotta have enough money in kind of like each position group to kind of like, sustain a team for a couple years, stuff like that. But you gotta pay your best players, especially like players like LJ and stuff like that.
Yep, and I feel like every trade deadline, any type of breakdown, any type of deadline in the NFL, the quarterback's always in the middle of it, no matter when it is. It could be off season, during the season, at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season. Feels like quarterback drama is always going on because everybody's always looking for that next guy, that next key guy to take you and win that next Lombardi. But the big news
Mhm.
today, of course, is always the headliner is Lamar Jackson. We've been hearing about him pretty much for like what the last couple months, I want to say. And this just
Yeah.
broke out today. So the Ravens sent a notice to the NFLPA that they placed the 32.41 million non-exclusive franchise tag on quarterback Lamar Jackson. He now is allowed to negotiate with other teams, but Ravens have the right to match any offer sheet he signs or take 2 first-round picks in return for him.
Oh
So
wow.
that's pretty big news. I feel like, did you feel like that was going to end up happening? I know we talked about it for a couple months now. We talked about it for a couple weeks. Is Lamar Jackson going to get paid? Is he going to get franchise tagged? The Ravens had a chance to work a deal out him before the work a deal out with him before the deadline. It was not. It didn't happen. Daniel Jones did. But how'd you feel about Lamar Jackson's situation?
I just feel the same way as I felt before. Like I just feel like it's bull crap. It's just so funny because I did notice that the same GM that the Ravens had when they drafted Lamar Jackson, he's no longer there anymore. And I do remember watching, I think it was Hard Knocks or like one of those mic'd up moments where the GM, I forget his name right now, but he was an African American GM. That was his last year. I believe that was his last year when they first drafted Lamar. But now that he's gone, now it seems like everything is kind of changing. It seems like the organization, so far as like the GM and like the top level, when they're, so far as like their decision making, bringing guys in is not really panning out right now. So maybe they got to take a look at that, in my opinion. But I feel like Lamar needs to get paid. I feel like he will get paid. I feel like a team will not match him, but a team will pay him, and the Ravens will not be able to match that contract. I feel like they put, I think what was it? You said 32.4 or something like that. Lamar is
Yeah,
definitely worth the 50. He's definitely worth 50 million a year. So he's not playing on that contract.
he's not. And I feel like it's so
No.
crazy. What did you say? I feel like just a couple of years ago, the Ravens loved Lamar Jackson. He was the next guy coming in after Joe Flacco. He was supposed to be winning all these Super Bowls, electrified, bringing in fans to the stadium. And then all of a sudden, it feels like all belief in Lamar Jackson has completely disappeared from top to the bottom, from general manager to the coach. It feels like the only people that really have Lamar Jackson's back is probably the players, and I don't even know if they have his back because it feels like the team's kind of shutting the door on him. And I don't understand it. They're already kind of trying to start a new chapter with nobody else is even close to being his backup. Like, who else could come in and just take Lamar Jackson's spot? I don't see any quarterbacks on the market. You're not getting Aaron Rodgers. Tom Brady's out the league. Russell Wilson has a home. I don't know. What are they looking towards? What's the goal? What's the game plan?
Well, the thing is, I definitely believe that the some of the players definitely have his back. There's been several tweets that's been sent out, and even during the season, there's been a lot of players, even players that don't even play on his team, but there's been a lot of players even on his team as well that's been saying like, pay this man. Receiver Rashad Bateman, he came at the GM on Twitter, and deleted his comments, but I believe he said something along the lines of, you know, maybe if you pay guys that's difference makers like Lamar and other guys like the corners, maybe stuff like that. Maybe
Right.
you will have a better team. Maybe we can get to the playoffs, stuff like that. So yeah, that's what it's all about. You just gotta pay your best player, especially a generational talent like Lamar Jackson. So I just feel like this is a huge mistake by by the Ravens. And also I found out during the week as well that they didn't even call Lamar Jackson when they hired their offensive coordinator. They didn't even consult with him or anything before they hired the offense coordinator. They just went out and made the decision to hire whoever they were going to hire. And then when they made the hire, that's when they called Lamar Jackson to let him know, like, hey, we went on and hired this guy, da da da. So that's definitely a big difference between, them calling you beforehand and discussing you like, hey, like, what do you think about this? Rather than them already doing it and then letting you know. So.
I agree with that. I feel like, especially when you're making a decision like that, which it can affect the offense, could affect the quarterback. I feel like the guy that's leading the franchise, the guy that's supposed to be the number one guy who walks into the building, he should be involved in every conversation. You just seen with Aaron Rodgers. That was basically his biggest problem with the Packers is they wasn't putting him in the office enough. They weren't giving him enough how would I say, they weren't allowing his voice to be heard inside the building, even though he's already won the championship, even though he's in the stadium every day. But this is another thing that kind of blew me. So a lot of teams are pulled out of the conversation, and here's a few of the teams. So right now, the teams that are pulled out and said they're not going after Lamar Jackson, you're going to have the Falcons, the Dolphins. And you remember the Falcons earlier today, they were a huge conversation talking about they're going to make a trade for him. But they pulled out. The Falcons pulled out, the Dolphins pulled out, the Panthers pulled out, the Commanders pulled out, and the Raiders pulled out. Why do you feel like all these teams that none of these teams have a quarterback and Lamar Jackson is an MVP, but nobody wants him? What's the reason? What's going on here?
Maybe the money issue. Maybe they feel like they can't give him the contract that he needs. But there's definitely, that's what was that, only like about 8 teams. There's 32 teams out there. 8 minus 32 was at 24. There's 24 other teams out there that can want and trade for Lamar Jackson. You never know. We didn't see shocking things happen before. And also too, I remember it's kind of similar to Deshaun Watson, and just a little bit, just when you had a few teams that said they weren't interested, and then later on, like next day, oh, they're interested. Something happened to where, I don't know, maybe they had some talks or an agent. Something happened to where something happened. I don't know, but we're gonna see. We're gonna see, man. We're gonna see latest saga of Lamar Jackson news. I really hope he does go to a team that's gonna really love him and value him. And I was gonna make a point to I'll just see, when you look at quarterbacks like in organizations like the Kansas City Chiefs and Pat Mahomes, Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, Philadelphia Eagles and Jalen Hurts. I would mention the Niners, but the Niners don't really have a set quarterback. But the reason why I mentioned those 3 teams like Jalen Hurts and the Bills and Josh Allen and those guys is because those are quarterbacks of the future where I'm pretty sure, I'm not there, but I know for a fact that the GMs and the owners are going to Jalen Hurts, they're going to Josh Allen, they're going to Pat Mahomes, like, hey, draft is coming up. What do you think we need? They're not necessarily saying like, hey, Pat Mahomes, make this pick for us. They're just saying like, hey, what do you think we need, Pat? You think we need a receiver for you? You think we need an offensive lineman? You think we need to build our defense, just so we can, create some more turnovers? I'm pretty sure the GMs and the owners are asking these guys. They're not, these are great organizations right here. But when you got organizations like the Ravens, you feel me, that they're not consulting with their quarterbacks. That's a big problem. And that just goes to show you what kind of organization they're running right now.
So how you feel like this situation is going to play out? Are we saying he's going to end up getting signed? He's going to end up getting signed by the Ravens, or is he going to trade?
Nah.
Trade?
No, yeah. So most definitely, I feel like he only got franchise tag right now just so they can buy more time to find a trade. I feel like he will get traded, obviously, before the season. Hopefully he get traded before the draft. But he might get traded after the draft. I'm not sure. It don't really matter as long as he gets traded. But
before the draft. For sure before the draft.
Yeah, but I was just gonna say the sooner the better, just so he can get with his team, he can get comfortable, he can get acclimated. Like you said, before the draft would be better, just because whoever team gets him, they can start building around him. Start getting some pieces, some running backs, some wide receivers, stuff like that. So yeah, I just want to see this thing end. I just want to see him get paid like he's supposed to, and I just want to see what new team he's gonna go to. I would love to see Lamar Jackson in like a Detroit Lions jersey, like with Dan Campbell, or how you said the Lions pulled out?
Nah, it was
my bad. If you can pull up that list one more time, my bad. I just want to make a prediction of what team.
So it was the Falcons, the Dolphins, the Panthers, Commanders, and Raiders.
Okay, yeah, I can see him going to the Lions. I can see maybe even right now, I can only see the Lions. Saints got their quarterback. Shit, Buccaneers. Shit, you never know.
And a lot of teams really
Shit,
just don't got the money to really pay him, and the Ravens know that. That's why when they franchise tag him, they know exactly what they're doing. Not everybody can
shit,
afford him now.
shit, the Lions can.
Yeah, the Lions could afford him, but they got Jared
Come
Goff,
on,
and they feel confident
come
in
on,
him.
Motor City. Shit, I'll be way more confident in Lamar than
Yeah, I feel
Jared.
like a lot of Detroit fans would probably be okay with that too. You know, why not? I feel like they got love for Jared Goff. He's earned the respect and the love from them. But when you got a quarterback like Lamar Jackson, MVP candidate every single season, you know who you calling. You know who you're going with. And
Hey,
other
low
in
key though, my bad, my bad. I was gonna say I can see Lamar going back to. I can see him going back to Florida with the Buccaneers. Why not? Buccaneers got money. Who they paying? They ain't paying nobody.
I'm
They
really
ain't got no
surprised.
big name contracts over there,
I'm really surprised that
except
the
for maybe
Dolphins
maybe
pulled out.
maybe Godwin.
I wanted
Yeah,
him.
I am
I
too.
wanted him with. Yeah, I wanted him with the Dolphins. You know, Tua's he's not guaranteed. They know that. Tua knows
No,
that.
no. Honestly, I'm glad you mentioned that because I was gonna also add on to that too. Like, bro, Tua is not to say Tua is done, but the Dolphins are actually like shit a top three team in this draft that need a quarterback for real.
Right.
They like you said, Tua is not a for sure thing and start the season, let alone the preseason. So they need someone to go in there and go through OTAs and stuff like that. I don't even know if Teddy Bridgewater coming back. Hopefully he is because he a Miami product. But yeah, we'll see.
We'll see how it ends up playing out. But in other NFL news, let's talk about what else we got next. So let's talk about Geno Smith. So, with Seattle, when they lost Russell Wilson this past season, we're kind of thinking like the end is near for Seattle. We're thinking that Pete Carroll, he's what, 76, 74, 70, whatever. We're thinking maybe the
Mm.
end is near. He's going to retire. He got what he got with Russell Wilson. And it's time to bring in a new coach, a new quarterback, and let's restart it. But really, they put in Geno Smith and the ship just kept going. The car just kept rolling, the wheels just kept going, and now they put themselves in a good position. They end up making the playoffs, and Geno Smith ended up getting his paycheck. And this is Geno Smith's biggest paycheck, and I want to say his NFL career. Right, he's never had nothing even close to this. He's been pretty much a backup his whole career, and so it's pretty good to see Geno Smith getting the payday. He deserves it. He's able to go eat at better restaurants now. Take his family to better trips. He was already paid, but now he can really do whatever the hell he wants. He got what I want to say 30, 40 mil. Let me look at it. It was reported. Let me see. I want to say it was like 30. So yeah, Mike
Yeah.
Garofalo, Mike Garofalo said the Seahawks deal with Geno Smith has a base value of 25 million per season, 3 years, 75 mil with the 40 mil get full guaranteed at signing. Sources say
Mm.
Smith will earn 28 million in the first year of his deal. He has 30 million in incentives. So that's a great deal for Geno
No,
Smith. I think.
honestly, this is a great deal for Geno and the Seahawks. I feel like obviously Geno wasn't trying to ask for too much. Obviously, I feel like Geno. That's a team I left out. That's another team and quarterback situation that has gotten to that point to where this organization will go to Geno Smith and ask him about decision making, whether it's drafting or free agency. But this is a great deal for Geno. This is a great deal for Geno, and this is a great deal for the Seahawks just because they're not paying him over 100 million, so like that. Don't get me wrong, they're paying him a good amount of money, but
Right.
they still have a good amount of money to go spend in free agency and then also to give to these draftees.
So 40 million guaranteed. I think that's great for him. He has a good set of money. He has what 3 years, 75 mil. So he has 25 mil in incentives. I would love to see what the incentives are. Do they have it out? No, they don't have the incentives yet. But I feel like this is just a W in his career, bro. How many years does Geno have? Like this is probably the last of it. He wants to play till he's like 40, but I don't know. I don't know if Seattle's gonna want to keep him that long.
I mean, honestly, you never know. So you never know. Like, shit, if he able to get you a Super Bowl within, not saying he is, but if he so happen, to get you a Super Bowl within these next 2 or 3 years, shit, why not? Keep him around for another 3 or 4. So no.
It's just kind of crazy that they're paying him for what $40 million or they was 3 years, 75 mil, and now they got DK, they got DK Metcalf, they got Lockett. I don't know if he's gonna get you over the hump. I don't know if Geno's enough to go win you a Super Bowl. So it's just kind of funny that they agreed for a 3 year. I don't know. They're probably gonna try to draft a quarterback in the next 1 to 2 seasons. Caleb Williams,
for sure,
maybe.
for sure.
But I don't think they're gonna be that high. If they're gonna be winning with Geno Smith like they say they are.
Mhm.
What that's gonna
I feel like they can.
The draft picks later.
No, I feel like they can. I feel like they can still. I feel like they can win a lot of games with Geno. They probably can even go far in the playoffs. As long as they, Seattle's always been built upon defense. So I feel like as long as they play really good defense and Geno, plays does what he does, he puts the ball in the right spots for the offense and decision making. I feel like he is one of the better decision makers in the league. He shows that with his completion percentage and his interception and touchdown ratio is not too bad. So as long as they got a rookie running back in Kenneth Walker, he's gonna be there for another 3 years. So 3 years with Kenneth Walker. Then you got Geno. You feel me? So that's a great quarterback running back tandem right there. As long as Kenneth Walker able to stay healthy, then as long as they lock up DK for another couple of years, and then they go out and draft maybe a good tight end. Maybe I could draft tight end in the first round. Security blanket for Geno, or maybe not even draft tight end in the first round. Go out and pay Mark Andrews. Go get Mark Andrews. You feel me? Go get Mark Andrews. That'd be a nice little red zone threat. Go get a tight end, and then maybe draft a defensive end. Along that defense to create some turnovers. So.
Yeah, I don't think we ever saw Geno Smith's career going like this, right? I felt like after the Jets, pretty much, we thought he was gonna be a backup his whole career. I thought he was just gonna, just be a moving piece, come in, help a squad, be a good leadership, be a great veteran in the locker room. But he's really embraced himself. He's really changed himself. He's really evolved his game. Even he's a lot more mobile, I think, than he was in his earlier career. He was up in his 20s. I don't think he was as mobile as he was in Seattle or of recent. So I'm happy for Geno,
No,
man.
yeah. Yeah, this is great. I feel like this is really great motivation. Shout out to Geno Smith. I feel like this is, all motivation for all. Yeah, I feel like this is motivation for all quarterbacks in the NFL or even just in football in general. Just keep working, keep your head down, keep your head down, keep your head up. Just keep working, keep working, keep working. Leave it all up to God, and just you're gonna get your turn. Your time gonna come. Especially quarterback. Quarterback is a tough position just because it's not like a receiver or corner where you can have about 3 or 4 corners on the field at the same time.
Right.
You can make a play, or a receiver where you can, your number might be called a few times, in a spread type offense, or even running back where you gotta smash and dash system with 2 running backs or even 3 running backs, triple back system. But quarterback, man, you really only want one guy, and shit. I'm glad Geno was able to step in and put his foot down and not be written off.
Yeah, honestly, I think it's confidence that kills quarterbacks the most because you see a lot of these guys coming out of college, they look pretty great. That's why they drafted high overalls. And then, bad things happen. They go to a bad franchise, maybe they get a bad injury, and then confidence starts dropping, play stops dropping, like they say, you look as good as you play. When you dress good, your confidence is high. You feeling motivated. I look good. I look sexy in the mirror, and it makes you go play better. But when your emotions are so killed in the inside, the whole outside the appearance doesn't matter. So I feel like that's probably the biggest thing that affects those younger quarterbacks and probably hurt Geno early on in his career. And he got in Seattle. I feel like it bumped his confidence to what he always thought he could be. He
Definitely.
never forgot.
Most definitely, especially being with a coach like Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll, I feel like obviously he gets a lot of slack. People come after him a little bit, especially when he was at USC. They call him a master manipulator. But don't get me wrong, man. Pete Carroll is definitely one of the better coaches in all of the NFL. He's more defensive minded, but he's more of just a team guy. He listens to his players. He's always in a great mood. Who wouldn't want a coach that's always in a great mood? I wouldn't want a coach that's in a bad mood. So shout out Coach Pete Carroll, and
Yeah, shout out Coach Pete. He's been in the league forever. Who knows how long he wants to keep coaching, but as long as he's coaching, I'm watching. I fuck with Pete.
Mm-hmm.
So, in other news, let's bring up Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers has been in the news for psychedelics. Aaron Rodgers has been in the news for. He's been in the news for just being in the dark. He's been in the news for being on Jeopardy. He's been in the news for whatever Aaron Rodgers has to say. There's always going to be a crowd, because he's always saying some nutty stuff. He's always saying some positive stuff, or not positive. He's always saying something intelligent where you just want to hear, okay, what was Aaron Rodgers' train of thought in that sequence? But I want to bring up. So today he ended up getting approved to go speak to the Jets. So Aaron Rodgers has received permission to speak with the Jets. Source confirms some due diligence. So that was reported by Ian Rappaport. How do you see this going? He's going to speak with the Jets. I wasn't thinking the Jets was going to be an actual real candidate. I for sure thought the Raiders was in it the whole time. Raiders end up basically taking a step back and they're out the equation. And there's only a real couple of teams left. Basically, you only got the Jets. That's been the only team that's been in the buzz. And I honestly thought maybe the Dolphins would make a call. Why not get them with Tyreek Hill? You're going to have Aaron Rodgers up in there. You're going to have Waddle. I guess they're not in the discussion either. I guess they really believe in Tua. I don't understand it. But how do you see this going? Aaron Rodgers, he threatened to retire. He's clearly not going to retire. He's going to speak to the Jets.
Honestly, I feel like this would be a great move for Aaron, though. I don't know why. This kind of reminds me of kind of like if he go to the Jets, that would kind of remind me of kind of like I didn't really even watch. Damn, what the hell is his name? I don't know why I'm thinking Joe. Was it Joe Namath? Joe Namath played for it was Joe Namath, right? That played for the Jets.
I'm not sure.
Hollywood Joe. I'm pretty sure it was Joe. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was Joe Namath. But that reminded me of Joe Namath. Joe Namath played with the Jets. He was number 12. So for Aaron Rodgers to go to the Jets, I feel like it's perfect though. I feel like they could pay him what he wants. Obviously Aaron does care about money because if he wasn't money hungry or not money, I'm sorry, not to say money hungry, he deserves it. But if he didn't really care about money, he wouldn't have took all that money and then Devontae would have been able to stay, or they would have been able to maybe get some more players to build around on the offense, like big time players, like maybe a Julio Jones type of guy. But I feel like this would be good for the Jets though, and also too they have a guy in Zach Wilson who they did draft number 2 overall. So why this would be good for Zach Wilson to maybe sit behind Aaron for maybe a year or two, just how Jordan Love did, and maybe learn, and then you can really see what Zach Wilson was all about. But I feel like this is really good for him.
And it's not like the Jets don't have hella offense or hella weapons on the offense. You got a team stacked full of young wide receivers. You got Hall. He's coming off an ACL injury, or was it ACL or Achilles? It was ACL, right?
My bad. You said Hall. My bad. Breece Hall. Yeah. ACL.
And then you got Wilson. So once he's healthy, bro, the Jets is gonna look like a good team, but it's a similar situation. You were just in the Packers and you're dealing with a young wide receiver core. You're getting frustrated. You're trying to get them to learn your play system, get them to learn you. So now you would be going to a whole brand new system going with the Jets with a wide receiver core that's even just as young as the team you're just on. And they're probably even younger, and it's more of them now. You got like 3 young wide receivers that are all under like 23, under 24. But the difference is when they were with the Packers, they had the same coaches. They had the same system already ready to just implement them. Aaron Rodgers already knows everything. Now you're going to Jets with a young core with coaches you never met. You never seen this playbook. Didn't they just hire a new offensive coordinator? Was the offensive coordinator the Jets just hired? And they fired offense coordinator, right?
Yeah, they did. My bad. I was going to look it up, but yeah. I believe they did, though. I believe so.
So now you got a new offensive coordinator up in there. So I don't know. It's gonna be a task. It's gonna be a big task for Aaron Rodgers. He's gonna have to be patient. Once again, I would have just assumed that he would have liked to try to force his way to play in Las Vegas. With an older wide receiver core. You got a tight end that's already older. You got Renfro. All these guys are pretty much veterans, 27, 28, 30. So I just thought that's the way he would have liked to go.
Yeah. No, yeah, it's funny. Not to change the subject, but I feel like not really change the subject because the draft, obviously is coming up, and I feel like a lot of those quarterbacks that are kind of taking themselves out of those kind of like Lamar Jackson and those like Aaron Rodgers sweepstakes, they're aiming at one of these quarterbacks. It's someone that they kind of like. I'm pretty sure. Colts are definitely out of it, obviously, because they're drafting so high. I think they're going to get the guy from Ohio State, Stroud. And then I think Texans are out of it, obviously, because they're trying to get Bryce Young. And then Anthony Richardson killed the draft. So I feel like he's definitely either going to the Panthers. I feel like the Raiders are a dark horse. I honestly feel like the Raiders are low-key might try to go get this guy. It might trade up. The Dolphins. Try to go get who? Honestly, I feel like the Dolphins and the Raiders are a dark horse to trade up to go get that guy, Anthony Richardson, the guy that from Florida.
Yeah.
Because there's no way. I don't see how these. Yeah, I don't see how these teams I don't see how they can not want an Aaron Rodgers or try to go out and try their hardest to go get a quarterback. Like, come on, what are you guys doing? Especially when you got a team that can win, like the Dolphins. Like they're only a quarterback away. Raiders got they got some pieces to fill.
So if you're doing that trade, let's say the Jets were trading for Aaron Rodgers, you're not throwing Zach Wilson in there, right? Because especially because they probably believe in Jordan Love.
Yeah, but they're not going with Zach Wilson. But my bad. That's a great. I'm glad you asked me that, 'cause I was going to ask you the same thing. I was basically going to ask you if the Jets are trading for Aaron Rodgers, would you throw a first rounder in there, and then if you are the Jets, are you going to accept that? Like, are you going to accept a first rounder for Aaron, or would you rather do a second or third?
Oh no, you're gonna have to give up the first rounders, but they already know what the deal is. If you're getting Aaron Rodgers, you're
For
giving up the
Aaron
first.
at
Yeah,
38?
yeah, throwing the first rounders. Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the league right now, behind Pat Mahomes. No, it probably is the number one best quarterback. You know, you get him a squad, I feel like he could probably be the best. Aaron Rodgers coming off what, back to back MVP seasons? Why not? Why would you not give up? Why would you not give up what you got to give to get yourself a Lombardi trophy? Aaron Rodgers, if you put him in the right system, he's for sure getting you a trophy. Nobody's gonna be able to stop him except the Chiefs. If you got a good defense and you got Aaron Rodgers, though, nobody's stopping him. Why not give up that first round? Get yourself a Lombardi. Like what's
But
called like the
still,
Rams said, fuck them picks.
but would you say the same thing about Lamar Jackson though? He's won the MVP before.
No,
He can possibly get you a
he doesn't
Lombardi.
have a Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers does have a Super Bowl. And Aaron Rodgers, the best thrower to ever touch the ball. Lamar Jackson's just the best runner. But Lamar Jackson's not a running back. He's a quarterback.
Feel it.
He said, I feel it. I ain't got nothing. Yeah, I feel it. I ain't got
Anyway.
nothing to say.
Oh, also too, bro. I was gonna say continue, but we got to bring up that. I don't know if you threw that in there. But we got to talk about Derrick Henry too, bro. We got to predict where he gonna go.
I did have it, but damn, where'd it go? I can always get it real quick. But yeah, I seen Derrick Henry. That was kind of crazy. Let me pull that up real quick.
That was crazy. I was shocked. Like, what? I didn't even know the Texans were. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Texans, the Titans. I didn't even know the Titans were really into like rebuilding like that. Damn, Lakers close it out. Okay, Lake Show. Ooh,
All right, so this was actually like you said, that was reported earlier today. So if Derrick Henry gets traded, which team should he go to? Derrick Henry earlier today, they were talking about trading him. He's not going to be released. They're going to try to ship him around. The Titans, they're basically going to rebuild. You know, they don't know who their quarterback's going to be. They don't know who the running back, wide receiver. They don't know what they're doing. They're basically exploding the whole team. And I really feel like this rebuild's overdue. It should have been done probably like 2 to 3 seasons ago. I've been there. Ryan Tannehill wasn't the guy. Like, they had a great squad. They had A.J. Brown. You had Derrick Henry, but he didn't have a quarterback. Ryan Tannehill never looked like he was going to be able to get you over that cliff. So now, like I said, times ran up. They're exploding the team. Derrick Henry's on the trade block. Who's the best squad in your opinion, Lamar, that you feel like could need Derrick Henry? You got the Bills.
My bad. Let me ask you first. I want you to answer first. I got a few teams in mind, and the reason why I'm saying this is because I literally was like all last night. I was literally like, for like maybe like an hour or two, like really contemplating, like, damn, where can Derrick Henry end up? Anybody can sign Derrick Henry, low key, if you think about it, especially for a 1-year deal. But yeah, I want to ask you first though. Where can you really possibly see, like, realistically, what makes sense? And obviously, too, you would see him going to no AFC South rival. So don't even say the Texans or the Jags or. I don't know. I was thinking about the Jags too because he's from that part of Jacksonville. He kind of like about an hour from Jacksonville. And I was like, damn, what if Jacksonville petty, bro? What if they trade a second rounder and pair him up with Etienne and Lawrence? But I doubt you think if the Jags are able to give a first rounder, you think the Titans would accept that even though they're rivals?
I don't feel like
if your rival is giving you a first rounder, would you do that?
I'm not giving you shit out of my division. I don't care what it is. If they're like a valuable piece to me, you'll be lucky to get the third stringer off my squad. Like usually trades don't happen, and it's not gonna happen for the best running back to ever touch the fucking Titans field. You're not gonna give them against the Jaguars. The Jaguars and the Titans got real beef. That's not happening. But like you said, you asked me the question, who do I feel like Derrick Henry, the best squads that could be? I feel like the Bills are definitely going to be in the conversation because I feel like they've been needing a top running back for the last couple seasons. But you're bringing in a guy that's 6'4", 200 and some pounds, and he's going to have to play in a cold environment every single day and night. I'm not sure how cold it is in Tennessee. I'm pretty sure it does get fairly cold, but you're going in Buffalo. It's literally snowing.
Man,
Remind you,
Buffalo.
once it gets to playoff time, and Derrick Henry, he's been a little bit injury prone the last 1 to 2 seasons. So now you're gonna have him
Yeah,
during the playoff time. You're gonna have one of them
but
to
you
play
gotta
in
remember.
like
You gotta
freezing
remember
below
Derrick
0
Henry.
weather, below 15
That's
weather.
true. You gotta remember too, though, when Derrick Henry played against. I don't know if you remember, but remember when Derrick Henry played against Kansas City Chiefs a few years ago in the playoffs? He balled out in that cold ass weather. So maybe I don't know. Derrick Henry probably just different. You don't never know.
How old was Derrick Henry at that time?
It probably was like this wasn't too long ago. It was like 2-3 years ago. Probably was like what
3 years
20,
ago was a
maybe
lot for a
20,
running back.
maybe.
And was he dealing with any injury
Especially with those
history at that
carries.
time?
Though.
Yeah, and was he dealing with any injury history at that time? Not,
I
not,
want
not,
to say maybe off and on though,
not,
but none
not
I
that I
can
can think
remember.
of. Yeah, but of late,
Yeah.
the last 2 seasons, it's been pretty consistent, and it's nothing to do with Derrick Henry. You're great. It's just all the Titans' fault. They ran you through the ground. They literally never gave
Yeah.
you no help. They made you run the ball 30, 45 times a game, and you kept doing it, and you kept chugging along, and you was a beast because of that. But at the same time, I wish you would have made a business decision and said, "Get me the fuck up out of here," because you would have probably got more. He would have probably got more yards on less carries with a better offensive scheme. You know what I mean?
That's
Because a lot of
definitely.
the times he was
Yeah.
just running 2, 3, 4 yards until he just broke away, tiring the defense out. But he was running in a brick wall some of the times. It wasn't like
Hmm.
the scheme was crazy. It was literally just halfback dive. Like you could run that shit in fucking Madden 24/7 and you can't get a yard. But since you got Derrick Henry, you got a guy that's so big and strong, they're gonna eventually get tired. You just keep running, run right up the middle. But I can't see you doing that with the Bills when it's playoff time. Weather is getting greasy. Weather is getting bad. It's getting like 10 degrees weather outside. People trying to get thermals any way to heat up. You got Derrick Henry's going. I think Derrick Henry's gonna go at 30 going into next season, probably.
Hell yeah.
Say 30 going into next season. So I don't know. It's a risk. Like if you're gonna get him, I can't give him no crazy ass number. But the Buffalo Bills, they're going all in. So why not? Maybe a 1-year deal would be effective for them.
Yeah. Who else though? Who else you think?
Another squad. That was pretty much my number one team. But if I got to look at another team, I don't know who really has money for him or who's going to be willing to pay a running back. There's not a lot of teams like the Patriots. I can't see them paying a running back.
We just kind of looking for maybe a 1-year deal type of thing where Derrick Henry might have to wait to get paid after this next season because I feel like wherever Derrick Henry goes, wherever he gets traded to, he's going to get traded to a team that's ready to win now.
Right. And you're gonna
so
have
I feel like
it's gonna
he will get. I feel like he will be a 1-year deal, I believe, to start off. I feel like. So and I feel like any teams they got the money to give him a 1-year deal worth maybe $15 million. $15 million a year for a running back is really good.
There's gonna be a lot of teams looking at him, but I don't know who's gonna really make that move on him. A lot of teams I'm pretty sure a lot of teams have a solid back, like you said. Running backs are really replaceable. So they're extendable. So there's no reason to go too deep and too crazy on the running back.
There's a few teams you're missing. You're leaving out, and I know you can think.
I'm not mentioning
who needs a running back, Darren.
Who and what do you feel like, the NFC or the AFC? What's the squads you thinking of?
All right, let me tell y'all.
It's not the Eagles.
All right, so this is my thinking. Why not? We don't have a running back. We have a smaller running back, a guy who's a 2-year veteran who did ball out this year and playoff Kenny G, right. Kenny Gainwell. You feel me? And I already said Miles Sanders will not return. So we technically don't have a running back. We have 2 first-round picks. We have some second-round picks. Not saying we have to give up a first-rounder for Derrick Henry, but why not give up a second-rounder for Derrick Henry? Give him a 1-year deal. Maybe restructure the contract. Maybe even a 2-year deal. You feel me?
So Sanders is not coming back.
He's not coming back. He's not coming back for sure. But yeah, sad to say because I really like Miles Sanders. But I ain't gonna lie, bro. If we able to get Derrick Henry, I would trade a Derrick Henry. I mean, it's not necessarily technically a trade, but I'm just saying like I would rather replace Miles Sanders with Derrick Henry for sure because that's an actual run. That's a power back. He got a great offensive line. We don't have to run him into the ground. We can give him about 10 to 15, maybe 20 carries a game. And we got Kenny Gainwell, who's a great receiver out the backfield. Gainwell kind of reminds me of like we were just talking about him. What's his name from Kansas City? Number one.
You said from McKinney.
Yeah, Game will remind me a lot of Jerick McKinnon. So that's like our Jerick McKinnon type of back, receiver, running back. You feel me? He get about 8 carries a game, 5 receptions. Then we got Boston Scott, giant killer. You feel me? Get about 5 to 6 carries. So I feel like they'd be perfect, bro. We can do it. And then also like not to toot the Eagles' horn, I feel like another team too that can also maybe use a Derrick Henry that makes sense. Obviously now, but be the Giants. Okay, the Giants, they might have to trade. They might have to release. They might have to cut or trade. No. Not even cut. Yeah, they might.
Why the hell would they let Saquon Barkley, a younger running back, go when you just franchise tagged him, and then go out and trade for fucking Derrick Henry?
Because you can get Henry on a 1-year deal.
But it doesn't matter. What do you need 2 running backs?
Saquon is asking because you could trade Saquon. Because Saquon is asking for this big money. You could trade Saquon. Because you already extending Daniel Jones, so you already telling Saquon like we franchise tagging you. We value Daniel Jones over you basically. So why not extend Daniel Jones, trade Saquon, pick up Derrick, feel me?
All right,
and so then one more team. I can see maybe like
how many teams can fucking get a fucking running back? How many teams gonna want to pay Derrick?
There's a few. I'm trying to look at the background. There's a few teams that can't, like Steelers. They got Najee. Green Bay. They got 2 good running backs in Aaron Jones, and you got
these running backs are extendable. You can throw in a
Chicago Bears. Derrick Henry can go there. Help out Justin Fields. Justin Fields
in Chicago.
Why not?
Because they ass. Bro, they didn't even know if
they wouldn't be ass. They wouldn't be ass if they had Derrick. Bro, they got Chase Claypool. They pick up Derrick. Bro, they pick up Derrick. Bro, if they get that running game cracking, they can be like the Eagles. They don't even throw the ball. We throw the ball when we want.
Bro, we
keep running until Claypool just get open down the field and on somebody.
No,
I'm telling you, bro. If Derrick Henry go to the Bears, that'd be nice, bro. That zone read option with Derrick Henry, Justin Fields, it'd be a wrap.
I agree with you with the Eagles. Look, you get Derrick Henry on the Eagles, that's gonna be filthy because you're gonna have Jalen Hurts. That motherfucking legs is huge, and then you're gonna have Derrick Henry running behind him, and he's huge, so he's gonna be able to block and lead for him. I think that's the best team. If Eagles are somehow able to make it get done, that's gonna be the best trade. And then I feel like it gets cold in Philly, but it don't snow. It don't get too bad. It's cold enough where you can still throw a thermal on and still be able to run the ball. Like you've seen it this year. They're gonna still run the ball when it's cold, when it's hot, when it's warm, when it's below 0. Like that. So yeah, if they get a guy like Derrick Henry in that squad, it's gonna be ugly.
My bad. I was saying one more team. Falcons for sure. They can do it because their head coach. He used to coach the Titans. He was the offensive coordinator. So I feel like it makes sense. They can give him the money. Derrick Henry. We got Kyle Pitts, and you got a young quarterback in Desmond Ridder. You can't just give up on young quarterbacks, man. Desmond Ridder was a pretty good quarterback at Cincinnati. He got prototypical size, 6'5", about 210. Played pretty solid down stretch. You feel me? So why not?
I just feel like that wouldn't make too much sense, but just because it's like why
Derrick in Atlanta?
Why? It's like,
but why not?
It's not like y'all winning nothing next year. Why trade for a running back?
Bro, you never know. Like that's what people said about Cincinnati.
No.
You think people said that about Cincinnati when they pick up Jamar Chase?
I didn't think we was going Super Bowl, but I knew they was gonna be a threat. Like you got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase.
Why can't Atlanta be a threat if they pick up Derrick? Anybody can be a threat if they pick up Derrick.
Because they don't have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase.
But we don't know where Ridder is though.
I know he's not Joe Burrow yet. Joe Burrow, we already knew what he was.
For all we know, shit, Ridder might be better than Burrow. We don't know.
He could be. We don't in the long run, for sure.
It's all about opportunity.
But let's bring up where we go. Where that? So Daniel Jones, that's what I want to bring up. Are you able to see that?
Any dimes? No.
All right, yeah, there it is. So we gotta bring up Danny Dimes because that was a rumor we brought up last time and it wasn't confirmed. I want to say they actually said that he fired I heard a rumor that he fired his agent because I guess they were putting out false information or something like that, but I can't guarantee the facts. But what I can't guarantee the facts is Daniel Jones finally got paid today, and I was thinking he was possibly going to get franchise tag, but the New York Giants end up using a franchise tag on Saquon Barkley, and they end up paying Daniel Jones. I didn't know how much the money would be because me and you were kind of trying to discuss it. We're saying, yeah, he had a good season this year, but long term, I don't know if he's going to be the guy. The two seasons before, he wasn't looking that great, but he got Dable, and Dable turned this guy's career completely around, where they're saying he could be possibly a franchise quarterback set on the way out. I heard some mentions earlier. They're saying that the reason that they didn't want to let Daniel Jones go because they really feel like family ties, kind of how they felt with Eli Manning when Eli Manning was with the squad, which I understand that he reminds me of Eli Manning, I guess, in some sort of kind of dad bod type of way. But low key, but he has a lot more speed than Eli Manning. But he has the persistence of Eli. I say somewhat persistence of Eli Manning to keep on going even when the times get tough. So I understand why they do got love for Daniel Jones. So this was his contract breakdown today. Daniel Jones ended up getting paid. Congratulations to him. Young quarterback proved the NFL wrong. So I reported by Ian Rappaport details on the Giants deal for quarterback Daniel Jones. 4 years, $160 million, $35 million more incentives, $82 million over the first 2 years, $94 virtually guaranteed at signing. First year cap number around 19 mil. So I want to say actually it was like what 80, but like I guess so 94 virtually guaranteed at the signing. So that's what all the other shit I guess. So basically 4 years, 160 mil though, 35 mil in incentives. How are you feeling about that, Lamar? Do you feel like that was a good contract? I feel like it was pretty good, right in the middle of the road. Not too bad, not too high for him.
Yeah, that was a solid contract, but we don't see. I don't know. No, honestly, I don't know what to think about it because Daniel Jones. I give him his credit. He did play really well this year. He played better than he ever has. This year than he has so far. Than he's been in the NFL. But I don't know what to think about this because like we're gonna see this 1 year that he did really well. He was inconsistent all the past couple of years, so I don't think they should have paid him. In my opinion, I feel like they should have franchise tagged him. I feel like you should have paid a guy like Saquon, just because he proved it this year. And he's when you look at Saquon, look at what he's done, you look at his potential. He's a generational type talent as well. So, I would have paid Saquon though.
So I actually had a take on that also, but let me show you this real quick. Like you say, you just mentioned Saquon. So Saquon Barkley, he was also franchise tagged today, and you're still not able to see. There it is. So Saquon Barkley was also franchise tagged today, and you said, what'd you say? You said you feel like Saquon should have got franchised or not franchised. You feel like Danny Jones should have got franchised, right?
Yeah, I feel like Daniel Jones should have been franchised. I feel like Saquon should have won that. Saquon should have been extended. Saquon should have got the 30 million a year, maybe 20 million. Nah, about 20 million a year.
So the thing is, I was actually agreeing with you with that yesterday. Then I heard him say something about this. So if Daniel Jones, let's say they would have franchise tagged Daniel Jones, the Giants would have had a great season. They would have maybe won a playoff game or two. Daniel Jones has a pretty solid season. Now they got to pay him probably another 60 million on top of what they just gave him, another 35 million, especially with the money going up. So it makes sense not to do it. And when you got a franchise tag Saquon, like I said, like you said, they should be paying him, but I disagree. Now when I look at Saquon, okay, yeah, he's been bought out this year. I feel like he's the heart of the squad. But besides from this year, he hasn't been healthy. He's been injury prone. He has his flashes of consistency of games where he looks crazy. Probably the best running back in the league at times. But then he gets hurt and he misses a game. So I feel like you give him one more season and then he goes to prove himself. And I'm usually against the whole franchise tagging a running back. But in this situation, I feel like it was a pretty good use of the tag. You still don't know what you're getting from Saquon. You still don't know if he's going to be able to play a full season. And then when you look at Josh Jacobs' case, I feel like he completely carried that squad and he completely showed that he was durable and he played through injuries and he did everything that they asked him to do. So they should have paid a guy like Josh Jacobs. But with Saquon, I see what they're looking at. I see what they're doing. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah. Would you agree that anybody that's been tagged would you agree that anyone that has been franchise tagged, would you agree that they're like open to being traded? Like would you basically agree that they're on the trade block?
Nah, because I feel like a lot of people, some players really understand the situation. Some players understand that that maybe they got hurt. Some players understand that maybe they want to bet on themselves and they feel like they can get more, so they're okay with the franchise tag. So it's not
Mhm.
really a reason. The only players that are in the trade news, we're gonna know about it. The guys like Lamar Jackson. But I don't feel like every player should be thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna be traded because I got a franchise tag." A lot of the times, sometimes the franchise tag is giving you a lot more money than you probably would have got in a long term deal. Sometimes it's giving you a real chance to bet on yourself, and sometimes the franchise
Yeah,
tag does give you opportunity if it's used in the correct way, and the franchise uses it to help a player instead of just despite the player. Like they're doing with Lamar Jackson.
that's true.
But I
No, yeah, I don't know, man. They should have paid my man, Saquon. They doing these folks wrong, dude. They should be paying these Saquons, and it's just so crazy to me. Like when you get generational talents and like in a draft, like Saquon and Lamar, and like they be so excited to draft these players, and then 3 years, 4 years later, you don't even want them no more. It's like what the fuck?
And a lot of teams would love to have Lamar Jackson. I even me, I've been known for kind of discrediting Lamar, but when I think about best quarterbacks in the league, I'm like if Lamar, let's say we didn't have Trey Lance or Brock Purdy. Even now, I'm still like I'm still keeping an ear open to Lamar. But if I didn't have a quarterback at all, I would for sure be looking into that. Like if the Niners didn't go to the NFC Championship with Brock Purdy last year, I for sure would have been like, well, Trey was hurt, Brock ain't doing shit. Go get
Hmm.
Lamar. Fuck it. But I feel like the circumstances have
Yeah,
changed. So a lot of teams I feel like should have been looking into Lamar. But I understand though. He got hurt this year. He hasn't really won anything, but he's still an MVP quarterback. I don't know. I do and I don't understand. I feel like the money's probably the biggest part that's keeping people away.
I just feel like it's just crazy, just because it's just crazy for the simple fact that, like you said, somebody gonna pay him. No, somebody gonna pay him. I guess it was 8 teams that pulled out, but somebody gonna pay him. So
It was only
we
five.
gonna see.
Only five. Only five.
Well, my bad. Yeah, fine. Fine,
And I forgot to tell you, Brody acted
how much?
Dre too
My bad.
saucy. I don't know if that's young. Dre too saucy. Brody acted with the podcast. Respect.
Very too saucy. I don't know
Dre
who
too-
that is. Probably somebody I know. I don't recognize the
maybe I,
name though.
don't, I don't. Yeah, I can't really tell. But yeah, what you gonna say though?
No, I was gonna say, how much you think he worth though? You think Lamar is worth what? Like, what you think? What you think? Whoever pays him, what you think his deal should be? Like, do you think it should be like? Because like I'm just thinking about Daniel Jones. What we said, 100, was it 160 million or something like that, or 180, whatever. It don't matter. But obviously Lamar is worth more than 100 million. He's worth about 200, 250, maybe even three. You see, Pat Mahomes what got like 300 million or whatever, 350.
Right,
What do you think
right.
Lamar gonna get?
That was a long ass term deal. I don't feel like a lot of teams want Lamar Jackson for that long because, like you said, like I said, like you got to depend on his legs to survive that long. When you look at Pat Mahomes, I know if he's not able to run when he's getting older, he's still able to sling that motherfucker. As Lamar
Yeah.
gets older, I don't know. Like let's say he gets a sprained ankle, are we still gonna be able to win the game? Is like
Mm.
now that you're not able to sprint at 100 miles per hour no more, are we still gonna be able to sit back and be able to win us a game and play quarterback? So that's another thing you got to look into. So I don't know. I would probably give him like you said, 200 mil, probably like 100 some mil guaranteed. But
Damn, he
I
just
can't.
ain't gonna sign to you. He
Nah.
ain't signing to you.
You have to give him like I can't fully guarantee the whole contract though. I can't give him the whole 200 mil
I
guaranteed.
can.
Yeah, you do that and you go once. Well, you had to live with the
But
results.
no, but the thing is, like, so for example, like, I feel like whoever is gonna sign him, and the reason why I say I can, for a person that thinks like me and that will sign Lamar, they're this is basically what the Ravens was doing when they had the GM and when they had their shit together. They drafted Lamar with an intention. Why do you think they changed their whole offense? Their offense didn't like that when Joe Flacco was there. They
Right.
changed their whole offense literally to fit Lamar Jackson, and it fucking worked. It fucking worked until they start fucking running him more and more and more into the ground and wasn't really surrounding him with receivers. And I feel like the reason why you say he can't really throw the rock is because he don't have anybody to fucking throw to. He throws really well to Lamar. He throws really well to Mark Andrews. But if he had a receiver such as like a Julio Jones or maybe like the younger Deshaun Jackson or like somebody like just a fucking a threat, like Antonio Brown, somebody that can actually get open and run routes and actually be a difference maker. Maybe you will see him, having over 4,000 yards passing the rock. You feel me? Or AJ Brown type of receiver. But that's what I feel like, though. Whoever picks Lamar Jackson up next, they will change their whole offense, just how the Eagles changed their offense with Jalen Hurts. They will change their offense, and they will surround Lamar Jackson around the right pieces that he will get. And that's the reason why I said I will sign him to fully guaranteed, because you got to think about it. When you playing like a game, and I know this is real life. This ain't no video game. But when you got a guy that do put up video game numbers, then you got to think about it like in fantasy. Hell yeah, I'm drafting Lamar Jackson with my first pick. And then I'm going to surround everybody else around him on my mama.
We're going to see how it play out, though. I'm pretty excited for it. I hope they do Lamar right. I hope they don't do him wrong. I feel like the Ravens owe him just for as much as work he's put in for them. And I feel like they're doing him more discredit than anything, because it's not for them not to believe in him. You would think that they provided him the weapons, like you just said. They haven't provided him
Buccaneers. Go get Lamar Jackson. Go pair him up with Godwin and Mike Evans. Then we're gonna see Lamar go be crazy, go crazy back in Florida.
We're gonna see it. I'd like to see that too. They got a nice little team. Chris Godwin's coming off injury. You got Mike Evans. I don't know about the offensive play calling with Lamar, but I don't know how they're gonna be able to adjust with that when they just been sitting in the pocket.
Bro, they got Byron Leftwich. They got a black head coach. They got that who believes in the defense, who's like a defensive, defensive genius.
They couldn't even run the ball 5 yards last year with Tom Brady.
Yeah, but you got Lamar Jackson though. If you pick up Lamar Jackson, you for sure gonna be able to run the ball.
Yeah,
but you got to run it. I know, but you got to run a threat at quarterback. That makes a total difference. Right, that gives that throws the defense off. That freezes the linebacker. That freezes kind of like the defense.
It does.
That's what I'm saying. So
that doesn't mean you can trust the coaching with him. That doesn't mean he can draw the plays like John Harbaugh was able to do.
But the coaching changes completely when you pick up a guy like Lamar Jackson. When you got a guy like Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, those are pocket passers. Those are pocket quarterbacks. So you have no choice but to sit in I formation and go play action fake and have a fullback in there. We got guys like Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. We don't really use a fullback. We in zone read. We faking the rock and then we rolling out. So using the feet, using the quarterbacks, to the biggest advantage.
Yeah, I just think.
And you got a guy like offense. You got an offensive coordinator like Byron Leftwich, who should have had a head coaching job, in my opinion, by now. But I feel like he can. If they go get Lamar Jackson, I feel like he will. That's one of the offense coordinators who will do right by Lamar. I'm telling you.
All right, we're gonna end it right here. Then y'all let it be known. What do y'all think? Where do y'all think Lamar Jackson is gonna end up going?
Buccaneers.
Like Lamar is in the right. You feel like he's going to the Buccaneers? I don't see it happening. I feel like he's
Florida shit, man.
Hey, Florida shit. Dolphins, go get him. That's what I want to see. But let it be
known.
Where Lamar Jackson
they organization. Man, Dolphins organization is trash. They believe in losing, and they want their head coaches to lose. Lamar, go to the Buccaneers, where they got a Super Bowl already, and they trying to continue to win, and they got a great defense.
Hey, Lamar, I'll see you in Miami. We out. Let it be known.
Go. Shout out, Take.
Hey, you know what I just